Okay, what's up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva. I don't know why y'all believe that lady. She done lied on me. Y'all know she lied. Oh, y'all know she lied on me about these drugs. I ain't take no drugs. I ain't never done drugs. I'm sorry, but when Mariah started crying, I was just like, I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. So I'm kind of going to talk about the last two episodes because honestly, a couple of my friends had asked me, was I going to review Married to Medicine this season? And I said, yeah. And so far, I've only reviewed the first two episodes of this season 7. So I'm going to go back and talk about Girl Code Interrupted, which was last week's, and also this week's, which is Savannah Showdown or whatever it was called. I forgot, but we'll get on it. But just a couple of things that I haven't talked about since not reviewing, but actually watching and doing the tweets and all of that. So, of course, I'm doing this in lieu of Power because usually every Sunday we all get together and we talk about Power. But 50 Cent damn tricked our asses and had us thinking, oh, we're going to get Power until one of my friends posted that we're not going to get Power until the 27th. I just wish they would go ahead and do it for us like they do on Netflix. Can we just get the whole season and we'll watch and be amazed? Okay. But either way, some highlights. Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. One of the things that I get where Dr. Scott is coming from, but in his delivery, he looks like an asshole. And that's the bottom line. Your wife chose a program that takes her from Atlanta to Tennessee. You know how important her career is, how important public health is. Yes, she took off from work because she said she wanted to spend more time with her children. But maybe in that time of spending time with her children, she had a revelation that said, you know what? I've put some of my dreams on hold. They've been deferred. And so now I'm going to go ahead and pursue it. Now is the time. Here's the other thing, Dr. Scott. What if, heaven forbid, something should happen to Contessa? What are you going to do then? Okay, what are you going to do then? I hated to see Dr. Contessa fold and give up her dream by saying, I pulled out of the program. Okay. So comment, let me know what y'all think about the whole Dr. Contessa. I do think on tonight's episode, it was fair to say that Dr. Jackie, and even on Watch What Happens Live, Mother Iyanla Van Zant even said they need to go to counseling. And I'm like, Lord knows, Atlanta is full of counselors and therapists, and particularly therapists and mental health professionals, period, of color. So there's no excuse there. Another thing that has happened that I did not get a chance to talk about is Toya and Dr. Eugene. I love Dr. Eugene. I really do. I love him. I think he's a really cool dude. Toya, I like her, but there are moments when I'm just kind of like Toya, what they call a tacky Toya. There are really moments where I'm just kind of like, Toya, really, girl, what you got on? Like, she need a whole makeover. And then when she was bringing them donuts to the office, talking about these aren't for you, these for the staff, like Dr. Eugene, hungry behind, ain't gonna eat them donuts. Girl, what is you doing? Don't bring them Krispy Kremes up in there. And if you do go bring some donuts to the office, go on down there to Sublime Donuts over there off of 10th Street. And I forgot what the cross street is, but anyway, by Georgia Tech, and get you Sunday Delicious, and it's Black owned. The house situation. So I was very confused and perplexed. Now, one or two things happened with the whole moving situation. So the $1 million home, the $2 million home, is not fully complete at the time of filming, but it was built enough to where they could actually move into the home, right? So they take 3 U-Hauls and move this house that they've been renting, and that's another thing I was trying to understand. She said something about they still owned a house. I was like, I thought you had to give up that house because of y'all's tax issues. But let me digress and continue on down this narrative of Toya and Dr. Eugene moving themselves. I was like, one or two things is going on here. You're moving yourselves because 1, you don't have the budget, or 2, we are storyline hunting, because that's something for us, the viewers, to talk about. The fact that you have all this money, you got $1 million home. fuck that. If I'm buying $1 million home, I'm gonna make sure I budgeted enough to have some movers come in and move that shit. Okay. Better yet, leave that shit here and let's just buy all new shit. Okay. Just take the wardrobe and the personal effects. Leave furniture, get your small new setup. But that was very disturbing. So why y'all moving by yourselves? Shit, you better hire some movers, girl. And let's see what else happened. Dr. Jackie. Okay, I caught a lot of heat for Dr. Jackie. As many of y'all know, our affiliation, yes, I do know Dr. Jackie. But she probably couldn't point me out in the lineup, but I am one of her patients. Okay. But she's also my soror. And anyway, people on IG roasted or attempted to roast, but I was unbothered because I'm like, I don't think that you all realize that Dr. Jackie wasn't per se being messy. They were talking about the girl code at the time. And on the podcast, the one word she left out that she should have used, but I don't think it would have mattered, because one of the things I'm learning as I navigate through social media is that people don't listen. They hear what they want to hear and they just run with it. And I'm just like, what Dr. Jackie asked Dr. Heavenly was, should Quad have brought up Mariah's cocaine use? What should have been added in that simple sentence was, should Quad have brought up Mariah's alleged drug usage? That's all she asked. Then she just talked about it the whole time. She was being messy. And I said, and then tonight I saw a preview before the episode aired, and they showed Dr. Jackie saying she don't want to be a part of the narrative anymore. She's done trying to be in the middle and trying to mediate Quad and Mariah's issues and Mariah's drug usage. So I was just like, but then people like, oh, is this how y'all get down with your soror? Is this how you get down with your soror? She said she was talking about that lady. And I'm just like, she asked a question. And that's one of the other things I find confusing and perplexing, is how people don't seem to know the difference between an inquiry and an accusation. We need to get that narrative together there too. It's really quite disturbing. If I ask you a question, I'm asking you something. If I tell you that I know, like if Dr. Jackie said, Mariah, Quad was wrong for saying that, actually, even then, that's kind of, I don't know. But either way, I think it's not registering with some people about how these things come out and how they were said. So anyway, Saturday, I was sitting around, I realized I hadn't watched last week's, which was called Girl Code Interrupted. This bus trip was very, very interesting. The whole housing situation, somebody brought up the fact that, Toya and Eugene had moved into their home, and Dr. Heavenly, and I know it's very hard with Dr. Heavenly for anyone to kind of be like, well, Dr. Heavenly really is being sincere in her congratulatory thing, saying, I like when Black people are doing big things. Congratulations on your new house. And then Toya took that to be like a shot at her. And I was just like, I don't think that she meant anything by it. I truly believe that at the time Dr. Heavenly said something, she was being sincere. And then that's when Toya also had to plug in the fact that, oh, this is actually our second home because we still own the other one. Okay. And I was like, I wasn't even aware of that, which didn't make any sense to me. Like, why are you renting? But then again, maybe they're renting because they're generating income off of the other house. I don't know what that's all about, but okay, maybe that's what's going on. Let me see. Also, I love Buffy. Buffy is a great addition to this show. Buffy is crazy. Buffy was like, child, people with real money don't talk about money because wealth whispers and money jingle jangles and screams. Okay. She reminds me of Ursula from To Having to Hold Charlotte, because she even said, ooh, that new money is loud and boisterous, honey. It's just boisterous. I was like, I'm going to start using that more in my vocabulary because I love the texture of the word boisterous. So either way, the bus trip, they survived. It was really, really tired. I was like, but Dr. Jackie did a good job putting it together. One of the things that disturbs me about these ladies a lot of the times is how some of them have been bougie for so long, they are ungrateful. Ooh, this house, oh my God, even the furniture is old when they get there. I'm just like, just be in the moment, have the experience. This is what the girl trip is about. It's all about having an experience. I just don't get it. I mean, it's Savannah. Savannah's old as time itself, damn near shit. And you know, it is known as a town that has haunted, you know, haunted places and spaces. Hold on, y'all. Let me get a sip. That's good. But the whole exchange between Heavenly and Toya in that moment was wholly unnecessary. You know, Dr. Heavenly was saying her house was almost paid for, and Toya retorted back with, that's because your house is only worth $50,000. I was like, not living in Dunwoody, it ain't. Not living in Dunwoody, it ain't. Have y'all been to Dunwoody? Them some nice houses, and I'm pretty sure that our HOA association or the housing committee or whatever will say something about it. And then Dr. Contessa just looked like, I'm just tired of this shit. Can we just have a good time? The ladies go out in white to have another healing ceremony. I do concur in the opinion of Mariah when she said that we have these things all the time. We talk about what it is we're going to do. And I really don't think there's really insincerity in it. And I'm tired of doing the kumbaya all the time. I get it. So, sure enough, they get through the ceremony or whatever, this dinner. They get back on the bus and it's just a hot mess. But let me back up because let me talk about Buffy. Buffy was up here crying. I said, I need Buffy's problems. Can anybody else need Buffy's problems? I need Buffy's problems. I need to be successful. Now, Toya took it to a whole other level and said, oh, girl, what kind of friend? That's why you ain't got no friends because it's lonely at the top and everybody else is down there. I get where Buffy is coming from. Buffy probably is a very benevolent person. Her family is very comfortable. They have a little bit of change, you know, because the family matriarch did some things to set the family up with their wealth and also taught them what many of us, particularly in the Black community, should have learned, how to start our own businesses and get our hustles on. I wish I had known that because truth be told, with my personality dynamic, I really don't have any business working in a traditional job unless I have a manager that offers some sort of flexibility. And for the majority of my career up until the last 10 years of it, I pretty much had enjoyed that type of flexibility. But Buffy started crying and I was like, bottom line is when you got money, you just got to be careful who you have in your inner circle. You know, some people are your friends just because you got money, and some people really are your true blue friends. I mean, I don't know, but I was like, she crying. I need Buffy's problems. Mariah, I just want to say something. Can I say something? Y'all always talk about my drug usage. And I'm just like, oh my God, what? Nobody cares. You're the only one that keeps bringing up this narrative. And you know, the thing is, Quad was telling her, you done a whole bunch of stuff to some people. And I was like, yeah, she has. And then on top of that, you know, Heavenly chiming in, I believe it. I believe you did drugs. Now nobody asked Dr. Heavenly for her opinion at the time, but I felt that. I did. Next thing you know, there's a big, I don't know, melee inside of there. Toya talking about her mama gonna come whoop somebody's ass because she went to Murder Inc. or some school. I don't know. And then I was like, y'all are too grown to be talking about going into fisticuffs with one another. Like, what? And y'all too mature for that shit. Like, really? Like, but why though? Why? I was so confused. Dr. Jackie, she done lost the damn key to the house. And finally, Buffy was like, hell, we in Savannah. We need to get ourselves inside the house before we all end up in the jailhouse. I was like, it's Savannah, child. Then Mariah on the phone crying like someone's old grandma to her husband. There people lied on me, girl, lied on me. Ain't nobody asked me. Ain't nobody asked me. I was like, oh Lord. And then when her and Toya were praying, I was like, it sounded like Toya praying more so for herself than you talking about help me to see. I was like, how about help both of y'all to see? I didn't know what kind of lopsided prayer that was. Anyway, Dr. Jackie said even with Mariah, she keeps coming up with 0 with her. And Dr. Jackie has said time and time again, no matter how many times she apologizes to Mariah, it's always something that she keeps bringing up about the situation. And, you know, it was also brought up the fact that these are friends. These are not really friends that hang out. It's 2 different groups that hang out together. So I don't know. I just feel like, honestly, with the whole Mariah and Quad narrative, y'all know they've been friends for a century damn near. And that's just how they roll. It's always going to be some inner conflict. And tonight on Watch What Happens Live, Mother Iyanla Vanzant was on there, and she said that it seems like every season that Mariah is on the show, she's always in a Wohala. Which, using context clues, I assume that means that she's always in some sort of conundrum. She always has some sort of issues arise. And she made the statement that if one is truly seeking peace and they do not find it, then that means that they probably really weren't seeking it in the first place. Food for thought. I get it. And the problem is that so many of us are so caught up in status or whatever, so you know, you don't ever have peace because you're always looking for something. You always looking. Tonight's episode was called Showdown in Savannah. Mariah's crying still about this drug allegation. In this episode, we see that she did go so far as to get a hair sample taken from her hair. Now, I was under the impression when you do a drug test that they're supposed to take it from the root. She said the drug test goes back 5 to 10 years. I went online to look it up, and it said that while a pee test can show that you've consumed drugs in the past few days, a hair test can show that you've had drugs in your system the past 90 days. So I don't know what kind of test she took, if it was legit or not. But with Mariah, I'm like, girl, if you don't do drugs, just let it go. And just people are going to believe whatever they want to believe about you. Some people are so delusional and caught up, they will actually make up their own narrative about you anyway. So what does it care? When Dr. Heavenly was on the phone with Dr. Damon, which, by the way, last week she had to confess that she had been seen a naked man, and he was talking about he don't want no other man to touch her. I was like, wow, Dr. Damon really do care. Because I swear sometimes Dr. Damon and Dr. Heavenly, they remind me, they're like, he's so, like, she's the boisterous one, and then he's the introvert. He doesn't seem very, like, into her, and she's into him. But I guess maybe he really loves her, but maybe his love language is acts of service by being a provider or something like that. But anyways, he asked the question, they getting along. I was like, Dr. Damon, that is like a rhetorical question, because you already know these ladies are not getting along. Do they ever? Okay. So they, let's see what happened. Dr. Scott and Dr. Cecil have a very interesting conversation. And I found it very interesting that Dr. Scott is oblivious to the things that he has done. Number one, he said something interesting about his relationship with his kids. He says he feels like he's being a drill sergeant. So he's worried about being painted as the bad parent. Like, he wants to be able to be the fun, lenient parent, while I guess Contessa provides the infrastructure and structure. I don't know. But he also said that he wonders if he forced her hand to quit the program and whether his wife resents him. Dr. Scott, I feel as though that should have been a rhetorical question on your part as well, because you knew that she quit the program because you were always bitching and complaining and whining about the fact that, heaven forbid, you have to take care of your own children. So, of course, yeah, she was resentful. So you didn't even have to ask Cecil that. But Cecil, based upon what he's learned in his therapy sessions, he was able to pass it on that, yes, y'all need to go to therapy. Dr. Jackie and Dr. Contessa were also having a similar conversation. Tessa did admit that she is resentful of Dr. Scott for kind of forcing her to quit the program. And Dr. Jackie also advised, go to therapy. And the thing about it is, like with what Dr. Jackie said, with Black women in general, that people think that it's possible for us to have it all, like the family, the children, the husband, the career, you name it, but that's not possible. So sometimes we have to pick and choose our battles. Like, motherhood surpassed me too. I'm 42. I don't want any children at this point, unless I'm adopting or a surrogate. And quite frankly, I don't even think it's possible for me to have children, and I'm okay with that. The doctors can't seem to find anything wrong, but I know I should have been and had some kids by now. But the Metcalfs, I encourage y'all to go see a therapist. That would be your best way if you truly want to save your marriage and your family. The barn dinner. They were complaining about why we gotta wear a mask. A lot of people wear masks in here. Oh my God, we going to a barn. Toya tacky behind. Oh, I dressed for the barn. Everybody else dressed to the nines, and meanwhile, you look like bargain basement Betty. And maybe that's why what Jocelyn said touched a nerve. Maybe Jocelyn was there to impart some, but again, I don't just talk about it. If you need for me to come through and go through your 2-story closet, I would gladly help you put some better looks together. Because Toya, girl, sometimes I just be like, and I like Toya for the most part. I really do. She messy, but she aight, she aight. But they always complain. I'm like, just be in the moment, enjoy it, be together, and learn how to be together. Then Toya made the mistake, probably not thinking of saying that whenever she sees cake, she thinks Coke. And of course, Mariah, that touched a nerve for her. And she felt like that Toya was being funny and talking about her. Well, only hit dog taller. So, out you through that rock, it sounded like it hit you. Meanwhile, I ended up stopping and leaving for a few minutes, me and Miss Pumpkin. And we rolled out to Publix because, I was like, cake would be good right about now. My hormones are raging out of control, and I felt the need to go get some cake. So that's what I did. I left and went to Publix, and I was dead ass serious. I even posted doing my Married to Medicine commentary, because Publix ain't nothing but 5 minutes away, 5-minute car ride from my house. So that's where I went and got some cupcakes, which are very delicious. And, Mariah keeps saying she ain't on drugs, but her hair tonight, it just looked like, girl, you just came off a bender. I'm not saying you did drugs, but okay. But I did like the Mariah line of the night. The line of the night goes to Mariah. She got mad because Dr. Jackie wouldn't look at her test results because Dr. Jackie says she don't want to be part of the mess anymore. And that is it. Dr. Jackie asked a question. Now everybody mad at Dr. Jackie for asking the question. So Dr. Jackie said, at this stage of the game, I don't want to be part of this matter. I'm done. My hands are clean. I'm good. But that's the part of the story that people don't want. Oh, Dr. Jackie said that she was doing drugs. Dr. Jackie asked, was it wrong for Quad to bring it up? That's what Dr. Jackie asked. But no one listens because everyone wants to think that, they want to hear what they want to hear. Okay. And for the most part, anyone who follows me knows that, yes, I love my sorority, and yes, I love my sorority sisters, but wrong is wrong and right. Y'all know I call Giselle out all the time when we were reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac, so come on now. But Mariah said, I hope they all kick rocks with open-toe shoes. That shit was funny to me. I said, oh, well, I said, now that's a good line, girl. That's a read. All right. And then I left and went, I guess, and then when I caught it on the playback, I saw that they went to the Second Baptist Church of Savannah. And that's when we got another monologue from Sister Quad about she was naked and bare before the people. Here I stand, naked and ashamed and afraid. I've been through a lot, and I just needed somebody to hold me. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying, I was like, okay, Quad, that enough, girl, with your, oh Lord. Anyway, what else happened? Alora and Dr. Heavenly. Now, Alora, since she been on the scene, Alora has always been slick in the tongue. And I think the reason why Dr. Heavenly don't say anything about it or smack in the mouth is because Dr. Heavenly is like, what can I do about it when this is the exactly who I am? I will give it to Alora. She is very mature, but some of the things she says to her mom, I think, are very cruel. And her mother is always coming to her in a very loving way. One of the things tonight, she was like, why your lips don't look like mine? And then Laura was like, why dry? I was like, damn, do you have to be so mean to your mother? I mean, like, what goes on when the cameras aren't rolling? Like, she's a very mean child at times. But, her mom is, flip at the lip too. So I don't know. It's just really very, very odd that this child is able to talk to her mama like that. But okay. What else happened that I missed? On Watch What Happens Live. Well, wait a minute. They showed a preview of next week. Quad has her cookbook release, I think is what it is. Which, by the way, I need to give me a copy of that because Quad looks like she can cook. And, she started giving the speech thanking the people at Sister Circle for teaching her sisterhood. And from the preview clip that I saw on Watch What Happens Live, everybody decides to leave because they offended Simone and Toya. And I forgot who else. I think it was Simone and Toya left. But as she was going through her speech, it doesn't seem as though they even afforded her an opportunity to even mention them or say to my friends and Married to Medicine, my sisters and Married to Medicine. They just immediately left in haste, of course. What else happened? So I think that pretty much was it. So, I mean, I think we're all pretty much caught up on Married to Medicine. I'm going to try to go forward, actually do an actual review, not live, because, we still got to wrap up Power. And then, of course, Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming back next month. So get ready. Again, the future of my radio show is uncertain. I'm supposed to have a guest. I don't know if I'll be doing it in studio or if I will be doing it from my home studio. But I think I'm still going to proceed with that interview with Zarian Newbill, who is a transgender woman. And when I say transgender, I am talking about transitioning from a man to a woman. That will be my guest. She is an activist for the LGBT community and particularly transgender women of color. And I think it's going to be a great interview, whether I do it in studio or just here at home with Diva. Yes. And again, once things are sorted out, I will tell you guys more about that dialogue about why things are changing for me and my radio platform. But anyways, that's all I've got. Thank you guys for joining who did join. For those of you who silently watch, I really want y'all to comment and give me some more dialogues. But I understand y'all probably tired and was like, let's just listen to Diva talk tonight. But anyways, I've been Miss Sophia the Diva. Thanks for joining the conversation. This has been my thoughts on the last 2 episodes and really the overall season for Married to Medicine season 7. All right. Y'all have a great one.